Alo, radio check. Chào mừng quý vị và các bạn đã trở lại với câu lạc bộ Sài Gòn United Motorsport. Tôi là Nguyễn Thế Hiện, sẽ cùng đồng hành với quý vị và các bạn trong ngày hôm nay, ngày đua ngày hôm nay của khuôn khổ giải Nation Cup Asia. Như các bạn có thể thấy ở trên màn hình, chúng ta hôm nay có lịch thi đấu như sau. Vào lúc 20 giờ sẽ bắt đầu session practice, tức là luyện tập. Các tay đua sẽ có 1 tiếng để luyện tập những kỹ thuật và thông tin cùng kỹ năng để làm quen với trường đua. Sau đó vào 21 giờ sẽ là session qualifier. Các tay đua sẽ phân hạng để lấy cho mình vị trí xuất phát, thứ tự xuất phát. Và vào lúc 21 giờ 20 cuộc đua chính thức sẽ bắt đầu. Trong ngày hôm nay thì chúng ta sẽ có 2 cuộc đua. Đó là sprint race dài 15 phút và feature race dài 30 phút. Trường đua ngày hôm nay của chúng ta sẽ là trường đua Spa-Francorchamps ở Bỉ. Trường đua này có chiều dài là 7 cây số và số lượng khúc cua ở trường đua này là 20 khúc cua. Như quý vị và các bạn cũng đã biết thì trường đua này là một trong những trường đua rất nổi tiếng, thường tổ chức các giải đấu lớn trên thế giới. Trong đó có thể kể đến như là những giải Grand Prix của F1, những giải đua Endurance như Spa 24 giờ và 8 tiếng, 6 tiếng ở Spa, trong nhiều khuôn khổ khác nhau. Bên cạnh đó thì tôi xin được chia sẻ đến với quý vị và các bạn một số thông tin bổ ích liên quan tới trường đua này. Thì hiện tại đối với phân hạng GT3, phân hạng mà các tay đua tại cuộc đua Nation Cup Asia 2021 ngày hôm nay để được sẽ là 2 phút 18 giây 146 ở ngoài thực tế. Và cái lúc này được xác lập bởi tay đua có tên là Marco Martelli trên chiếc xe Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo vào năm 2020. Còn ở thể thức F1 thì chúng ta có thành tích khá tốt đến từ một khuôn mặt khá thân quen ở trong giải F1, đó là tay đua Valtteri Bottas với thành tích là 1 phút 46 giây 286. Vâng, có vẻ như là tiếng của tôi vẫn chưa rõ lắm. Alo, check 1212. Vâng, xin lỗi quý vị và các bạn, hồi nãy nhạc hơi to. Và chào mừng quý vị và các bạn cùng trở lại với giải đấu Asian Nation Cup 2021 do Asia Sim Racing Federation, một tổ chức cùng với 16 quốc gia thành viên, thành lập cách đây 4 tháng cùng tổ chức. Đây là cuộc đua One Make với sự có mặt của 15 quốc gia cùng với 29 tay đua, quốc gia 2 tay đua xuyên suốt các nước châu Á. Và hôm nay đại diện của Việt Nam chúng ta là 2 thành viên rất trẻ tuổi đến từ Sài Gòn United Motorsport, Mai Đạt Long và Lê Hoàng Vĩnh Long. Hai tay đua rất trẻ tuổi và có thành tích tốt nhất tính tới thời điểm hiện tại. Như các bạn có thể thấy ở trên màn hình, chúng ta có chiếc xe Lamborghini GT3 của Mai Đạt Long và chiếc BMW M4 GT3. Hôm nay chúng ta sẽ đua tại trường đua rất nổi tiếng Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. Trường đua này có chiều dài là 7 cây số với số lượng khúc cua là 20 khúc cua. Với những khúc cua rất nổi tiếng có thể kể tên như là La Sorte, Eau-Rose, Radillon, Lecombe, Bruxelles. Tôi sẽ đi chi tiết vào trong những thông tin tiếp theo. Và trên màn hình của chúng ta, đây là chiếc xe Lamborghini GT3 Evo của tay đua Mai Đạt Long. Lê Hoàng Vĩnh Long hiện tại vẫn đang ở trong pit và anh chưa cho xe ra khỏi pit. Xin quay trở lại với trường đua Circuit Spa-Francorchamps. Hôm nay chúng ta sẽ đua ở layout tức là phiên bản GP. Thì phiên bản GP của trường đua Spa dài 7 cây số và kỷ lục được xác lập ở phân hạng GT3 ở ngoài thực tế là 2 phút 18 giây 146 do tay đua Marco Mappelli thành lập trên chiếc Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo, cũng chính là chiếc đang xuất hiện ở trên màn hình của quý vị. Có một thông tin bên lề thì ở trường đua này, cũng tại trường đua Spa này, thì kỷ lục thế giới ở phân hạng F1 đang thuộc về tay đua Valtteri Bottas của đội đua Mercedes. Và thành tích của Bottas xác lập tại trường đua này vào năm 2018 là 1 phút 46 giây 286. Cuộc đua ngày hôm nay của chúng ta có sự góp mặt của 29 tay đua, trong đó có 2 tay đua người Việt Nam. Các quốc gia tham dự có thể kể đến như Brunei, Trung Quốc, Hồng Kông Trung Quốc, Macau Trung Quốc, Đài Loan Trung Quốc. Bên cạnh đó chúng ta còn có các thành viên đến từ những quốc gia như Đông Nam Á như là Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, Thái Lan. Và bên cạnh đó chúng ta còn có những người bạn đến khu vực Đông Á như Hàn Quốc, và khu vực Tây Á như Sri Lanka, Ấn Độ. Và đặc biệt đến từ châu Phi, chúng ta có một anh bạn đến từ Ai Cập. Vâng, đây là trên màn hình, thưa quý vị và các bạn, đây là khúc cua Euro, khúc cua rất nổi tiếng tại trường đua Spa Francorchamps. Tổng cộng ngày hôm nay chúng ta có 11 chiếc BMW M4 GT3, 2 chiếc Ferrari 488, 3 chiếc Lamborghini, 3 chiếc Mercedes và 6 chiếc Porsche. Trên màn hình của quý vị và các bạn là tay đua Gio Hack-in đến từ Hàn Quốc của đội đua BB Racing. Tay đua thứ hai đến từ Hàn Quốc là tay đua Jaejeon Lee, cũng thuộc đội BB Racing. Đến từ Sri Lanka chúng ta có tay đua Barayan Pereira và một tay đua khác có tên là Eshan Pieris. Hai đại diện đến từ Trung Quốc là Yuan Xin Lee và Phân Chiang, M3 AMG, GT3 AMG. Xin lỗi quý vị và các bạn, tay đua Yuan Xin Lee. Chúng ta cùng chuyển sang góc quay ở phía xa ở trên kinh khí cầu. Hiện tại vẫn đang là session luyện tập và chúng ta còn đến 30 phút nữa thì cuộc đua bắt đầu. Tôi xin được phép mô tả một chút về trường đua Spa-Francorchamps. Đây là trường đua rất nổi tiếng trên thế giới, một trong những trường đua giữ kỷ lục về độ dài trong các giải GP, 7 cây số. GP là viết tắt của Grand Prix. Vâng, các khúc cua nổi tiếng có thể kể tên như là khúc cua đầu tiên La Sauce ở ngay khúc chicane. Đến khúc cua thứ hai, khúc cua lên dốc, tổ hợp cua lên dốc số 3, 4 và 5 ở Rouge và Radillon. Là pit stop. Cũng là tay đua Long Mai. Long Mai vừa vượt qua khúc cua Puhan, một chút slide và anh đã cứu được chiếc xe của mình. Chúng ta cùng xem khoảng thời gian luyện tập của Mai Long trên từng sector của trường đua. Trường đua này được chia làm 3 sector, 1, 2 và 3. Chúng ta có thể thấy ở trên màn hình. Sector 1 kéo dài từ khúc cua vạch xuất phát đi qua La Sauce, vượt lên Euro và Radillon để đến giữa Como Straight, khúc đoạn thẳng Como Straight như quý vị và các bạn có thấy chấm đỏ thứ nhất ở phía dưới của hình của bản đồ. Đó là sector đầu tiên. Sector thứ hai đi qua những khúc cua 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 và 12. Chicane rất nổi tiếng như Le Combe, Rousseau và Puhon. Thì màn hình các bạn có thể thấy Mai Long vừa vượt qua khúc cua cuối cùng ở trong sector 3, đó là Bus Stop Chicane. Như vậy là hai anh đã đưa xe vào pit để thay đổi một số chiến thuật. Chúng ta cùng đến với một tay đua rất nổi tiếng của đội Malaysia, đó là Mika Hakimi. Mika Hakimi là một tay đua rất quen thuộc với đội tuyển Sài Gòn United Motorsports trong những giải thi đấu như E1 Championship mùa 1, khi mà tay đua Lê Hoàng Vĩnh Long và tay đua Đặng Hồ Gia Huy tham gia lần đầu tiên trong giải đua quốc tế. Bên cạnh đó nữa thì Mika Hakimi cũng là tay đua ở phân hạng LMP2 ở giải đua Indonesia, khi mà các thành viên của đội tuyển Endo, tức là giải đua sức bền của Sài Gòn United Motorsports, tham gia ở Indonesia. Anh đang thuộc biên chế của đội đua Excel Sport do tay đua F1 rất nổi tiếng, cũng tay đua F1 rất nổi tiếng của Đông Nam Á, đó là Alex Young làm chủ nhiệm. Chúng ta cùng đến mặt tay đua thứ hai của đội đua đến từ Malaysia. Nói một chút về việc chọn người tham gia giải đấu Asia Nation Cup năm 2021 này, thì các quốc gia đều tổ chức vòng loại phân hạng.
Just as I have to keep cool, calm, and composed under pressure to perform at my best, so does the power unit. During the race, temperatures inside the car soar, but Petronas Syntium helps to keep the inner cool, reducing friction and absorbing excessive heat within the power unit to ensure that optimal performance, efficiency, and reliability can be extracted.
What makes a nation great? Is it the richness of its heritage, the beauty of its natural bounty, the state of its state-of-the-art? Or is it the bonds that bind us? For decades, SLT Mobitel has been linking Sri Lankan lives and uniting the nation. Whatever the future may look like, we'll always be right here, connecting you to the things you care most about. SLT Mobitel, the connection.
3.65, 2.29, 4.99. Số điểm này hay còn gọi là iRating được xếp hạng bởi hệ thống máy tính của nền tảng iRating căn cứ trên thành tích của các tay đua, từ kỹ thuật đến thời gian hoàn thành cuộc đua, hay cho đến là những hành vi, những ứng xử của các tay đua ở trên trường đua, ví dụ như là đâm đụng, va chạm, hay là để xảy ra sự cố khiến cho trong những cái cuộc đua online hàng tuần. Mika Hakimi vẫn chưa ra khỏi pit nên chúng ta chưa có hình ảnh đến từ xe của anh. Bên cạnh đó chúng ta ở vị trí thứ 7, tay đua nhanh thứ 7 ở trên trường đua tính tới thời điểm hiện tại là tay đua Leonardo Oliveira. Anh đến từ Macau và chiếc xe của anh chạy ngày hôm nay là chiếc Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo. Thành tích vòng đua vừa rồi của anh là 2 phút 18 giây 067. Ở vị trí thứ 9 chúng ta có tay đua đến từ Trung Quốc, Yuan Xilin. Anh hoàn thành vòng đua với 2 phút 18 giây 25. Ở Macau chúng ta có ở Hồng Kông, xin lỗi quý vị và các bạn, ở Hồng Kông chúng ta có tay đua Derek Lee. Thời gian hoàn thành là 2 phút 18 giây 38. Rất sắc Samuel Chang, tay đua đến từ Macau. Đúng. GT3 14 GT3 delivery màu xanh lá cây và trắng. Tay đua thứ hai đại diện cho Thái Lan là Pariwat Chukan. Vòng đua của mình với thời gian là 12 phút 18 giây 62. Trở lại với Lê Hoàng Vĩnh Long và Mai Ngọc Long. Hiện tại thì thành tích của Mai Ngọc Long tốt nhất là 2 phút 19 giây 75, còn Lê Hoàng Vĩnh Long là 2 phút 19 giây 64, chậm hơn 2 giây so với người đứng đầu mà Mai Long đã xếp vị trí thứ 25, chứng tỏ chất lượng của các tay đua khi tham gia giải đấu này ra là rất cao. Vâng, và chúng ta còn 15 phút nữa thì sẽ đến section phân hạng. Tôi sẽ quay trở lại trong vòng ít phút. Còn khi đó xin mời quý vị và các bạn cùng nghe một chút nha. Và chào mừng quý vị và các bạn đã quay trở lại với giải đua Nation Cup Asia 2021. Tôi là Nguyễn Thế Hiển, bình luận viên của quý vị và các bạn trong ngày hôm nay. Và như vậy là session qualifying đã bắt đầu. Đây sẽ là session phân hạng cho các tay đua để quyết định vị trí xuất phát ở vị trí bao nhiêu. Hiện tại thì trên màn ảnh của chúng ta là tay đua Mai Đạt Long. Tất cả các tay đua đang ở vòng đua outlap. Và như vậy là Mai Long đã bắt đầu quá trình qualify của mình. Như vậy là đây sẽ là vòng đua đầu tiên của Mai Đạt Long. Anh sẽ tìm kiếm cho mình thành tích tốt nhất để quyết định được vị trí xuất phát. Của cá nhân. Vâng. Tiếng động cơ V10 của chiếc Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo. Đang gào thét lên. Lý do mà Mai Long chọn cho mình chiếc Huracan GT3 Evo bởi vì đây là phiên bản GT3 của Lamborghini được cải tiến rất nhiều trong khâu khí động học, giúp cho xe có thể đạt được tốc độ rất cao ở trên đường thẳng. Tuy nhiên cũng không hề thua kém những chiếc xe khác khi đi vào khúc cua. Như vậy là tay đua Diêu Kim đến từ Hàn Quốc đã xác lập được vòng đua đầu tiên với thành tích là 2 phút 18 giây. Vâng, và Jaeon đã như vậy là Long Mai đã xác lập vòng đua của mình với 2 phút 19 giây 680. Bên cạnh đó thì Lê Hoàng Vĩnh Long cũng đã có thành tích cho xe của mình là 2 phút 20 giây 531. Thời gian của qualifying còn 15 phút nữa. Tiếp tục là các thành tích của những tay đua khác được xác lập ở trên trường đua. Như vậy là Long Lê đã quyết định bắt đầu lại vòng đua của mình. Trong khi đó thì Mai Long vẫn tiếp tục giữ
on the ASRF race event as well. So certainly looking forward to the show that everyone will put up for us. Mitchell Wu in 7th and exactly right, Siddharth Medidata in 8th position. So personally, I love the paint scheme that Mitchell Wu is running. Very nicely presented Singapore colors with the association logo there always cheers me up.
Absolutely, yeah. All the cars out there representing the colors of the nation, and also I have to say every single one of them has been presented beautifully right now. I think these liveries wouldn't look out of place in an actual GT3 race. Come to think of it there.
Yeah, certainly. So it is very much also reminiscent of the FIA motorsport games, where we see kind of nations, racing, representing the nations racing. And I think if we do have a look at Kevin Huang's McLaren, he is using the exact same paint scheme. Kevin Huang is currently right, we caught him at the right point. He's using the Chinese Taipei paint scheme, of course. That is representative of the Chinese Taipei Motorsports Committee that represents racing interests over in Taiwan. So this is him. Of course, we've only got one driver from Taiwan and not two, unfortunately, but it's great to see him racing here as well. That's the actual paint scheme that was being used on the motorsports games, the first motorsports games back in 2019. That was used by, I think it was Hans Lin, the Taiwanese driver, although he was driving a Lamborghini. So, of course, Kevin is in his favorite McLaren. He's always fast in this machine, and we'd love to see how he's able to perform here tonight.
Absolutely, and it's great to see that there's those few little touches to bring it back to the real world of motorsports there. Of course, we've got a real mix out there right now. We see there Fred Ting and Mazdi Mardini, our friends from Brunei, also out there in 21st and 23rd position. For instance, those guys, I know, big into their sim racing there, but of course, as we mentioned earlier with Dominic Ang, we've got drivers from the real world of motorsports as well, from the Ceylonese, the Sri Lankan contingent, so the Ceylon Motorsports Club there. We've got Brian Pereira as well as Eshan Pieris, who I actually had the pleasure of working with in a very roundabout way, because of course in my day-to-day experiences doing tyre support out there in the real world of motorsports there, we get to meet some of these guys out there in the real world, and I must say it's nice to see some of those names in racing around right now, so it's absolutely fantastic to see there. Of course, it's really quite close up at the front of the field right now, just bringing ourselves back to the sharp end of the field. Sachai has been knocked off the provisional pole position by Joe Hook in their 218.366. That is absolutely flying around this 7-kilometer circuit right now.
Yep, considering that we are now running the hottest track temperature ever at 44 degrees Celsius, 218.366 is a very fast lap time. So, of course, that is being led by Im Jo-hyuk from Korea. We've got a Thai representation, Sachai Natakunjon in second. He's still currently in second. He's got a 370, so it's a 4,000th of a second difference between first and second place drivers. And of course, Lee Jae-yeon over in third, 218.773. Very great to see that. I think a bit of mistake by Sachai Natakunjon, but this is very tight competition. See, Jaeyeon Lee in his Porsche. I think Koreans do. It would appear that the Korean entries here do have a preference towards the Porsche cars. Very great to see. So I think one of those things about racing here at Spa is, yes, we did have a Spa Grand Prix last weekend, which I don't know if it actually did happen.
I don't think they know either.
Yeah, and that bus stop chicane there, I think we're just having a chat with some of the other drivers that that chicane used to be a funny bus stop, but now it's a simple right-left hander, which is much simpler for all the drivers. So certainly this project, of course, one of the objectives of this project was to bring together the collaborative abilities of all of us involved in developing sim racing in all different countries, and this means that we do have 6 broadcasts in total that's taking place for this event. So you are tuning into Adrenaline Impact, which is bringing to you the one of 2 English broadcasts localized to Southeast Asia. We've also got our friends over at BB Race, who are offering the Korean commentary. Do check them out on Twitch. We've also got eSports from India providing English broadcast localized to India. They're on Facebook Live and I think YouTube as well. We've also got various others. We've got Saigon United Motorsports, which is providing Vietnamese commentary, and they are also live on Facebook and I think YouTube as well. We have, and I think it's very great that we've also got Mandarin broadcasting provided by our friends over in China, provided by Kart Camp, who does organize karting events over in Sichuan. He is soloing this whole broadcast. He's giving commentary for both the race as well as the F1 qualifying during the practice session. So he went live way before we did. So that is the Mandarin stream on Bilibili platform. And last but not least, we've also got a Cantonese broadcast provided by our friends at EPP, and they are live on YouTube and I think Facebook as well.
Yes, and special thanks to all of the broadcasters who are covering this race in all the different languages as well, giving you guys at home the best viewing experience possible. So a special thanks to all the guys there. And like I said, for 3 months worth of work there, and I know quite a few of the guys have been working about 6 months worth of work in 3 months. It's been absolutely amazing to be able to bring all of these guys together. We've had qualifying sessions, we've got selection processes for each region and everything else coming through there. So we really have tried our best to give you the fastest driver from each country within the region through there right now. But the early form book, I must say, is a little bit mixed there. We see Dominic Ang has jumped really high up there. He's managed to get a 218.896. But right now it looks like the Koreans might be the pre-event favorites at this moment there. Jo-Huk Im in first position with Sakai Natakunjon in second place and Lee Jae-yeon in third place there. So it looks like a battle between the Thais and the Koreans there, but it looks like the Malaysians are slowly going up there. Villa Bahar of Indonesia as well, another driver to have a look out there. He's going strong in 10th position for the Indonesians with Reynaldi Kido, one of his teammates there. Yuan Xilin in 8th place, also from China. We have Leonardo Oliveira, as we mentioned before. He's from Macau with Samuel Chiang in 9th place there. And I'll see if I can find any of the other drivers there. From the island of Réunion, we do have Thomas Ferry, and of course, nominally French, but he's from the island of Réunion there. And we have Kevin Huang, as we mentioned there, from Chinese Taipei, with Lei Longvin and Tommy Mai from, I do believe that is Vietnam.
Yep, Vietnam, that's right.
Yeah, and of course we've got quite a few of the other drivers coming through as well. So we've really got a very international race coming towards here. 17 minutes have passed in the qualifying session there. Im Jo-Huk is currently the provisional pole position man. The time is still set at 2:18.366.
So we are 2 minutes towards the end of the qualifying position. Oh, that is Dominic Ang, who's... Oh no, sorry, I scrolled my window down, but Im Jo-Huk still in pole position. I think that driver, that guy as well as Sacha Natakunjon, both of them are just untouchable. So it's probably going to be a battle between them both. Unfortunately, we would have loved to see our Japanese entrants enter today because they have also qualified extremely well. They were top on the rest of Asia qualifiers list. It's sad to see that they are unfortunately not able to make it to our race today. It would have been nice to of course, have to enjoy their presence as well in this race. But the show still goes on. Still have a lot of other drivers, 29 strong in total, which is kind of around what we have expected for this event. A healthy number, in fact. Maximum of 2 representatives from each country or territory. Of course, that does also mean that you've got 2 from all of Middle East as well as Africa, which is being represented by Thomas Ferry and our friend in Egypt, Haytham Abdelkader, who is currently probably still out on track. I think he's currently qualified in down in 29th position.
indeed right now. Mohammed Zihni. There he is, another one of the Singaporean drivers, and he's going to start a lap there. Let's see if we can sneak on board and see this fantastic track in its full. Coming down to La Source there, it's absolutely critical to try and get the braking just right before going through the apex there. He's beautiful on the throttle there and using all of the curb and then some. That is the quickest way through La Source there. Now coming up towards the legendary Eau Rouge corner. Now, contrary to popular belief, Eau Rouge is only this left-hander. Radeon is the crest over the top there, and you've got to use all of that curb in a GT3 car in order to be quick. Coming on to now the Camel Straight, and this is going to be a fantastic overtaking opportunity for a lot of the drivers there. In fact, the biggest overtaking opportunity coming into the braking zone here for Lecom. Very, very tricky section here. It's all about getting the balance just right around this section there, and ooh, it looks like he's unable to continue that lap. He's going to try once more. Meanwhile, that's Kevin Huang there going through through Radeon and going on to the Camel Straight. We'll see if he'll complete the lap this time around. Doing about 255 kilometers an hour coming into the braking zone there, and unfortunately we're out of time. So unfortunately we couldn't quite give you the full tour of the track in time there, but it's Im Jo-hook in pole position with Sakai Natakunjon in second place, Lee Jae-yeon in third, with Dominic Ang in fourth, Leonardo Oliveira in fifth, Yuan Silin in sixth place, Nicholas Fenier is in seventh, followed by Mika Hakimi, Samuel Cheng, Avila Bahar, Mitchell Hui, and Pariwat Toi.
So further down the list, we have Siddharth Mediratha from India, Daryl Brady from the Philippines, Derek Lee from Hong Kong, Thomas Ferry from the island of La Reunion, of course flying the French flag, Rinaldi Ido from Indonesia, Van Dog from China, Aman Nagdev from India, Oliver Aquino from Philippines, Kevin Huang from Taiwan, Mohammed Zini from Singapore, Brian Pereira from Sri Lanka, Long Love from Vietnam. And we've also got the remaining drivers around all your grid. Tommy Mai from Vietnam, Fred Ting from Brunei, Masdi Madini from Brunei as well, Ishan Pieris from Sri Lanka, and Haitham Abdul Kader from Egypt.
It doesn't get any more expansive than that. Well, from my understanding, we're going to have a short run up to the line there. It's going to be a rolling start, and the drivers are going to be behind the safety car. Now, we did manage to talk to Race Direction, and they're going to get the guys to go to the control line, warming up the tires and doing the rest of that. But after the control line, which is just before the bus stop chicane, which is the final two corners of the lap, they're going to assume the position, and we're going to have an American-style rolling start coming towards turn one there. I predict we're going to see a lot of fireworks coming down to turn one.
Hey, yep, certainly. We're definitely going to expect quite a lot to happen. Off the back of the Spa Grand Prix, and I think it's something that we could probably expect. So the drivers are, of course, doing a shorter pace lap, so it's only through the sectors of Blanchimont and as well as the final chicane instead of the whole track. You know, if you're doing the whole track, you'll have no time to race.
Indeed, we will. Now coming around Blanchimont, one of the hardest corners to get right in these GT3 cars, and coming towards another one of our places to watch when it comes to battling and overtaking, which is the braking zone into the bus stop chicane. Of course, now known as Campus, is a little bit further away from the original bus stop that used to be on this track, because you have to remember this track used to be a public road, and what a road it is. Now it looks like Im Jo-hook is going to go off the front of the field there, and it looks like we've got a nice clean start coming across the line there. Im Jo-hook coming up into first place, a brilliant start from him, with Sakai Natakunjon coming into second place there. It looks like there's a bit of swapping around there further down the field there. It looks like one of the Singaporean drivers managed to gain a position, but it looks like for once a clean run through the first corner there. Brilliant stuff there. We still see cars going 2 wide, 3 wide. Let's see how they go through Eau Rouge and Radion. Alman Nagdev is the guy we're looking through now. We're going to have a look at Lee Jaeon coming down the Camel Straight into the braking zone there, and it looks like we've got a fantastic start to the race right now. Im Jo Huk is still in first position with Sachai and Natakunjon in second place, and Lee Jae-hon in third, with Dominic Ang in fourth place, Leonardo Oliveira in fifth, Yuan Chi Lin in sixth place, and Mika Hakimi in seventh, with Avila Bahar in eighth, Parawat Toy in ninth, and Nicholas Fanier in 10th position. Brilliant start there, have to admit. GT cars coming into La Source always makes me a little bit nervous, but that was a very professional start to the race.
So no position changes in the top 6, but of course I think some incidents that have happened resulting in some position changes towards the midfield and towards the back. So this is the battle between Mika Hakimi and Yuan Xilin, so we'd like to see how this battle will pan out. They make their way into campus, rather the S's corners. So this is down into campus. He will then make his way into Stabler, which will come right ahead. The gap between them sits at around 0.2 of a second, so it is very close indeed, within attacking distance. So on to the almost flat out right-hander. Now, of course, with the new track limit guidelines on iRacing, you can use a bit more runoff on the outside without scoring a 1x. So full throttle around this section. Mika Hakimi continues to trail UNC, and this will continue to ensue. So it is quite a stable train that is up front. Very fast drivers up the pointy end of the field, and they are fighting out there very well. And they breaking into the bus stop chicane. Mika Hakimi down along the inside, UNC along the outside. Is UNC going to be able to defend his position? It would seem so. He edges out Mika Hakimi and continues to hold on to P6 as they complete another lap here at Spa.
Brilliant driving from both drivers there. Just enough space given and not a single inch more. Parawat Toy there right now coming in 9th position. He's following behind Avila Bahar of Indonesia right now in 8th place, and he's going to be trying to look for an opportunity to slipstream to try and get a little bit closer to the car up ahead, if not try and overtake him. He's done plenty of overtaking right now. He's gained 3 positions since the start of the race, which is very interesting stuff indeed. Remember, this is a 15-lap heat before the final 40-minute race to come. So these guys are really going to push as hard as they can in order to try and gain as many positions as possible. Parawat Toy there in 9th position. Beautiful around the Lecom section. Now coming down to the Brussels hairpin and into the corner they call No Name. A corner with, ironically, many names. It's known as Signal in Belgium, but the English-speaking world refers to it as No Name. Again, one of the unique things about Spa is that all these corners have stories behind them and different names depending on what your experience is. Going through Puan there, a little bit of a lockup from one of the drivers further up the road there, but meanwhile we're going to have a look at Derek Lee, who's putting a lot of pressure on Kevin Huang coming through the Puhon section there. Again, super critical. The trick around here, as I was taught by one of the Spa veterans, is to keep your steering wheel at a constant angle throughout the entire corner, which is a very frightening thing to do there. Now this is, as they call it in Belgium, Fanier's chicane, otherwise known as Piff Paff. For some of the English drivers there, they gave that the nickname of Piff Paff because if you don't quite get the line right, you do end up facing the way you come through. Now going through curve, Paul Fier and into Blanchimont there. Looks like Derek Lee is putting a lot of pressure there, but Kevin Huang's putting more pressure on Tommy Mai up in 19th position. He's going to try and go around the outside and into the inside there. It is as close as they can go, but Derek Lee's going to go around the outside there, coming into the braking zone, and it looks like Derek Lee's managed to get one position. Will he get another position there? He isn't able to do so, but what a drive by Derek Lee there. Hard on the brakes into the bus stop chicane, and he's managed to get himself one more place. Now the hunt is on to get up to Tommy Mai.
That was a close battle indeed, and they round out the last sauce again. And of course, this going a little bit wide does go that Lamborghini there. Great battling, great stuff. Although my iRacing feed does show me on board Parawat Chukan, but I'm focusing on the actual battling here, which is between Avila Bahar and I think
that's
Parawat Chukan. Yeah. Oh! Oh, that was a close contact, alright. And fortunately, Avila did not lose control of his car. He still kept his car on all fours as he unfortunately came to contact with another car just now. He continues to hold on to 9th position. Now remember that after this 15-minute race, we will have another 40-minute long race where drivers will have another opportunity at battling once again. So the points will work this way. So you get half the amount of points in this race, and then you get another full amount of points in the next race. And the ratio will be 1-2 this session and the feature race. And the winner will be the driver with the most points out of this arrangement. So certainly later on, the driver who finishes this heat race in 8th position will start race 2 from pole position. This is Mika Hakimi. He made a slight bit of mistake just now. He continues to sit in 8th position and giving Pariwat Chukan quite a lot of pressure, all right? And he is certainly having a good time doing so.
Indeed, Mika Hakimi, incidentally, he's going to be on pole position if the results stand this way, but of course, he's not interested in where he's going to start that long distance race that's going to happen right after this. He is interested in the points, but so is Pariwat Chukan. They're up ahead. They're going to be pushing quite hard indeed. Avila Bahar and Nicolas Fener, as you remember, they had that little coming together up at the top half of the circuit there. We're riding on board with Nicolas Fener coming into the braking zone here, and it looks like the traditional midfield battle is starting to warm up pretty nicely here. 6 cars in the middle of the field. I always used to say it's the Adrenaline Impact midfield battle, but I think it's safe to say that it might just be the ASRF midfield battle this time around. And things are definitely hotting up here. Of course, this track it's so important to try and master slipstreaming and drafting because of what's going to happen after this spectacular Eau Rouge section there. Nicolas Fener, he is got a lot of pressure from Samuel Chang behind him. In fact, he's managed to get the draft and he's managed to get the slingshot coming into the braking zone here. Let's see if he can get into the position there. Samuel Chang moves across to try and defend from Nicolas Fener, and that is a smooth overtaking maneuver there from the Macau driver. He manages to bring himself up into 10th position. What a brilliant overtaking maneuver there. Textbook Camel Straight drafting.
Yeah, it's a wonder that Camel Straight holds a lot of surprises, you know, from both the perspective of drivers as well as spectators alike. We continue to observe more battles. This is Yuan Xilin once again. He's currently still in 6th position where he started from. So Yuan Xilin, in fact, is among the masterminds of this race format as well as the various settings. He is one hell of a fast driver, all right. 5,394 I rating, second highest, just behind Im Joo-hyuk with 6,037 I rating. And, you know, it leaves to be seen what UNC can do to these other drivers up here. He's in his spanking iRacing China blue paint scheme. So, you know, a very popular color in the iRacing China community is blue. And that is the case with this paint scheme. Now, of course, this project is proudly brought to you by Next Level Racing. So, of course, the race winners here will be presented with a GT track cockpit by Next Level Racing. Second place driver will get an FGT Light cockpit, and a third place driver will walk away with a GT Light cockpit. I've also got a lucky draw prize, a random prize, which is also another GT Light rig, which will be given to a driver who did participate in any of the regional or national qualifiers but did not make it to this race. So that was in fact to very much encourage drivers to just give this event a go, and it kind of it allows us to remain steadfast to our commitment that everyone will have, there's something for everyone.
Unfortunately, if it wasn't for the fact that I was on commentary duty for the final there, I could have probably entered just for that chance to win that lucky draw prize. It's really interesting. Just quietly, Oliver Aquino there getting a little bit close to the back of Muhammad Zini there in 16th and 17th positions. Every single position right now, we can see from the leaderboards there, they're getting closer and closer to each other right now. Of course, the drivers who have their interval times in yellow are drivers we consider to be very close to each other, and if they're in orange, they're considered to be what we call into the battle zone. That means they're close enough to try and overtake And one driver who is trying to overtake, that is Kevin Huang, managed to try and go around the outside of Mazdi Martini, and he manages to do it. Kevin Huang manages to gain one more position to get himself up into 21st place. Meanwhile, Fred Ting and Mazdi Martini, they're pushing as hard as they can to try and keep themselves up into the position. And there's a bit of a lockup with the car in the front there. He had to slow down quite a bit, and it looks like Fred Ting's lost out there. And it looks like our friend Haitam Abdelkader from Egypt has managed to get himself a position up there. Absolutely fantastic stuff there from Haitam, who's managed to get himself up briefly there, but it looks like Reynaldo Edo is the winner out of that slight snafu coming to the Brussels hairpin. Again, a very, very deceptive corner. Watching on the TV screens there, you don't realize how much of a downhill slope you're coming into that corner. You have to brake real early. You've got to turn in real early in order to try and get a quick lap time through there.
It's very great to see the Simsa driver with us. So of course Simsa has been friends with the community for a very long time. White flag this time by as we ride on board. Oh, it looks like Lee Jae-yeon unfortunately had to go into the pits. He was fighting a very strong third position just now, but this is him. He's kind of had to make that pit maneuver. So that does kind of allow the rest of the drivers behind him to gain a position. Im Jo-hyuk continues to lead the race as usual, 6,000 rating. He leads Sachai Natakunjor, and Sachai is also in front of Leonardo Oliveira. So we have a Korea, Thailand, and Macau 1, 2, 3 at this point.
And from my understanding there, yes, it looks like the top 5 is currently being run by 5 drivers from 5 different nationalities. And it wouldn't surprise me if they were in 5 different vehicles right now. Yochilin there in the Mercedes. He's chasing after Dominic Ang in the BMW, and it looks like Leonardo Oliveira is in the Lamborghini. I do apologize. The top two cars right now here at Spa are in Porsches, and it looks like Im Jo-hyuk has the slimmest of margins. 1 second separates him and Sachai Natakunjon in first and second places. This is the final lap of the race there. 13 minutes have passed in the race. Meanwhile, Wan Chi-lin, they're very close. It looks like he might actually be able to try and catch up with the back of Dominic Ang, who's also catching up real quick to Leonardo Oliveira right now. This might be the battle that's going to sort themselves out through the final corners there. It looks like it's going to be a very close race. It's absolutely exciting. You've got to love sprint races, haven't you?
Absolutely. So of course this is in fact a white flag, so they are going to fight to the finish. And if this does continue, it will mean that Avila Baha will probably have the opportunity to start from pole position. So the battle right here at this point for P8 is also a very contentious one, because it is going to be a top 8 reverse grid. So we will of course observe these cars as they make their way to the finish. But it is going to be Im Jo-hyuk of Korea who will come across the final chicane. He leads Sachai Natakunjor by a small margin. So Im Jo-hyuk comes across the start finish line and wins the Heat 1 here at Spa. And Sachai Natakunjor comes home in second. Leonardo Oliveira in third. Oh, there is a huge contact in the background. No idea what happened. Of course, protests are open to the drivers. So the results tentatively will be Leonardo Oliveira coming home in third, Dominic Ang in fourth, Yuan Silin in fifth, Pariwat Chukan in sixth, Mika Hakimi in seventh, and I think the positions are kind of jumbled up.
Yeah, it looks like Samuel Cheng was in 8th position there. We're not too sure what happened with Avila Baha or Fandog there. On my screen right now, Fandog is off the track at the moment, but he will come across the line soonest. But that was a spectacular end to the lap there. I believe that might have been for the pole position, the reverse